Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Reviewing Comics with me, your host, Alexander Turbin. Today we're going to be going over Warriors Adventure number 2. I guess it's just Warriors number 2. Adventure is the name of the publishing company. It's one of the three, I think the three that were or maybe it was four or more that were interconnected. I'm going to have to go through and do a whole timeline and everything with all of these Eternity, Adventure, and all of those other comic book companies that were all interconnected. The Comics Tropes guy did it, and he did a really great job, and he always does a great job on all of his videos, and he does a lot of work, and it was really great. But I kind of really wanted a little bit more detail, so I think I'm just gonna have to go in and just research the hell out of it and try to do a video of my own. But it's Warriors number 2. I don't have Warriors number 1. I've also made it my life's mission, my new life's mission, because as a comic book collector, as we all know, having the chase is one of the greatest thrills of comic books, comic book collecting rather. And I haven't really had that thrill in quite a long time. I haven't really had any anything that I really wanted so badly that I was just gonna, do my best to chase them down. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to chase down every single issue of all of those published books by Eternity, Eternity, Adventure, not Sirius. Is Sirius part of that? I don't think Sirius is, but there's like 3 or 4 different companies all under the umbrella of by same guy. I can't remember his name right now, but I'll be looking more into that. But anyway, we're going to be going over Warriors number 2, which I have a lot to say about. But it's an anthology, so there's 3 different stories, and I'm only going to do the first one right now. So I was like, oh man, I'm really going to do this time, because like I went through the anthology of the horror anthology last week, and I don't really want to do the second story. I mean, I might get back to it someday down the line, but this Warriors thing is something that I really want to get back to. Maybe not the next episode, but like episodes after that. Because it's really one of the things I'm really into. The sword and sorcery, black and white stuff is really everything that I love about comics. I mean, I love my X-Men, I love my superheroes, love my Daredevil and Thor and all that stuff. But I also love the indie comics. And one of my favorite things in indie comics is sword, sorcery, fantasy, science fiction, stuff like that. So I was like, hey, how am I going to do this and keep the spot and all this stuff? And my mind is always, a bubble with different thoughts and what I can do. So I've decided to make bookmarks. And this is the first prototype of the bookmarks that I'm going to start doing. I'm going to have like either a random access, I think, on this one, and then this is Queller. Maybe I should actually have Queller. That was kind of dumb. Maybe I'll have Queller, and then Cyrene, and then Mutandis and stuff like that. Although I really like the random access logo. But I really love the Queller logo. I love that metal look to it. So these are the prototypes. Let me know what you guys think. Also, this is the lighting that I have. Let me know what you guys think, really, because this is really, is it like this or like this? Which one's better? Actually, I think that one's better. The problem is it has a glare, and I don't really like the glare, but I actually like this better. Let me know what you guys think, if you like the darker look or the brighter look. So this is my my new bookmark for the Warriors anthology, and whatever anthologies I'm going to go through. Like, I'm going to definitely go through the Clive Barker's Hellraisers anthologies. I'm going to go through just a lot of different stuff, which are anthologies, because a lot of things in the indie market are anthologies, and I really want to go through them, and I really want to know exactly where I stop and everything like that. So here's my new attempt at a bookmark. So now that I'm on to that, let me show you some of my own work. This is random access. It's a full-size, full-color comic book that you can get on patreon.com/Alex Turbin, or you can go to alexanderturbin.com, and all of the random accesses are there. And it's my work. and other artists' work doing covers or backup stories or stuff like that, like Chris Knox, Charles Delgado. Hey, I think I got it right. Jake Quirk did the cover for this. So it's a lot of different stuff. A lot of Paul Court John does the backup stories and stuff. And also, my newest Mutandus, number 6, just came out last week, and you can get that at alexanderturbin.com. And this completes the storyline that was, excuse me, continued from Mutandus Regeneratus number 1, which I'm renumbering into number 5. So this is number 6. So all the Mutanduses are being renumbered back to their original. This is the newest random access that went out to patrons, and it's my first wraparound cover, so I'm pretty happy with that. And even though, like an idiot, I did 2 11 by 17s, not 11 by 17s, it's like 10 by 15, whatever I work on. So they were like big magazine size, so I kind of had to cut some stuff off. But anyway, let's get back to Warriors, because that's what you're really here for. You're here for some cool sword and sorcery stuff. I don't have any adventure books. I don't have any warrior books other than this one. I really have wanted to get all of them. In my youth, I don't think I fully appreciated some of the black and white art that is in the interiors. And Warriors number 1, actually in this, the letters page, not the letters page, but the introduction page, he actually apologizes for the interior work for Warriors number 1. So I am crazy excited to see what it is in Warriors number 1 that is so bad. If it's the same, because this has Adam Hughes is the story that I'm going over, and so I'm really flabbergasted as to how the art in the interior could not be that great. If the first one has an Adam Hughes story, then everything else, who cares? I mean, he's just phenomenally awesome. So yeah, so I don't know. I'm going to be looking into getting more Warriors, more adventure, and I'm going to be going through a whole slew of these reviews, because I love the covers for the Warriors and the Adventures, almost all of them. It's kind of like the Warlock 5s, where the Warlock 5, the art in the interior is super awesome too. But the Warriors and Adventure in particular, much like the Conan, Savage Swords of Conan's and stuff like that, they are amazing covers, and the interiors are black and white, which the interiors black and white can be amazing as well. But the what really sticks out is this beautiful cover. And so, yeah, let's just get into this first storyline. And there's 3 of them. I don't know any of the characters. This is number 2. I don't know any of the characters. I think they're Shadowlock, Coron, and Decab. Please, if you guys know anything about the adventure books or the warrior books, are those characters from the adventurers, or are they just? I think they are, because story by no, Terrace opens the gate of chaos. I don't know what that is. So this is the coming soon and stuff like that for the adventure books and all of that. So I don't really know anything about the storylines, don't know anything about the characters. If you guys know anything, please fill me in. The covers are gorgeous, and I'm gonna get them. They're not very expensive, so I'm on a mission, and it feels really good as a comic book collector, because I am a super collector. Even though I'm a seller, I'm still a super collector, and so I really am looking forward to collecting these issues. Let me know if you guys have them and what you think. So the first story, like I said, is by Adam Hughes, and it's called Shadowlock story. And the writer is Dan Greenberg, and the pencils is Adam Hughes, and the inks is by Del Barris, and letters by Dan McKinnon. I'll be going through who does the other stories, because I really don't want to get into any of the other 2 stories until I'm ready to get into them. Hence the trusty bookmark here. Let me know if you guys would be interested in getting these at alexanderturbin.com, whether they're random access or Queller or whatever. So you've got this character. I assume this is Shadowlock himself. So he's a brother, and he it doesn't really say at the first what's going on, and I don't know if he's a bad guy, if he becomes a villain, but he's very villainish. He's very conniving and stuff. So I don't know if he ends up being a good guy, if he's in the Adventurers or Warriors or whatever, or this is just a standalone kind of storyline. But he's like, but dealing with them is such an ugly business. I can't put any of this um, put off any longer. I must enter the mouth of the dragon. So he opens the doors and it's a party. And he's, as usual, Adam Hughes does this fantastic figure work, very clean, very smooth, very articulated, very emotional. He's got emotions and he's got characteristics on every character, every little background character. One of the hardest things to do, especially for me, is to really create a background character and emoticoning background characters. It's like, to me, they're a background character. They're not really there. They're never going to be seen again. So why do it? But I really have to get out of that mindset, because background characters can be so integral to your story and everything. Maybe I'll just create a sheet of background characters that I'll use, kind of like background actors are in movies and TV shows and stuff. You might see them over and over again, which you would never know. But maybe I'll start doing that. Yeah, that might be kind of a fun little thing. So you've got this character. He's very sneaky. He's thievery. Maybe he becomes the thief of some sort of group. But I don't know. He's at a party. It's called The Contest is the name of the title of the story. And again, I got to start adding titles to my stories. And he goes over and he's listening to his father, who I guess he's a prince, and his father's the king, and the king and his brother, his older brother, who the king and the older brother look a lot alike. So I don't know who's who. I think that's the king and that's the older brother, and these are they're noblemen from other towns and villages, whatever. So they're just kind of talking about the other villagers and the other villages and stuff like that. And this character, who is trying to get the adoration and the acknowledgement from his father, keeps saying, I kept getting the villagers, pestering the villagers or the workers to do exactly what I wanted them to do. And the king's just like, oh, yes, great job. Yes, that's awesome. But he's not really into it. And he kind of knows that. He kind of feels the disregard that he has from his father. So that's really kind of interesting. It builds up. It's very much like Loki and Thor and Odin in Marvel Comics. So as you see, he's like, yes, well done, Richard. I guess his name's Richard. Richard, I don't know, Richard Shadowlock. So they're talking about there's going to be a joust, there's going to be a foot race, and then there's going to be an archery contest. It's like a big contest, and the winner gets the prize, which is this character here. And they're talking about how they're going to do and what they're going to do. And she is the prize from some other nobleman's family or whatever. She's the daughter, princess from another family, another kingdom or whatever. And so Richard is really into her. He's instantly smitten, and the brother kind of makes fun of him, stuff like that. Kind of like Thor and Loki, almost exactly, actually. And Richard tries to be suave and everything, and he's like, you're not as ugly as the rest of the women in your home. And she's like, oh yeah, great, thanks. And so everyone kind of laughs, and he kind of just slinks away, and he's thinking about the revenge that he's going to get on his brother. And because he thinks that the brother is going through all of this trouble to get her as his bride and become wed in that fashion or whatever. So, and then it goes to the next day. So Shadowlock, I guess, is the brother. So Shadowlock is the good brother, and Richard is the bad brother. Like I said, just like Loki and Thor. he's doing a foot race and he's running as hard as he can, and he's just like booking it, and he makes, a gallant effort, and he's doing so awesome, and he's like, I feel great, I'm so awesome. And Richard is just incredibly jealous, and it's so awesome to see Adam Hughes. They're not only saying in the text how jealous he is, but I mean you can just see on his face and his whole body language, his emotions, that he's just seething with jealousy. All of the blacks and the shadows underneath. So the next contest is an archery, and apparently Richard put some sort of thing underneath the some kind of metal plate underneath the target. So his brother goes to shoot, and it bounces right off, and he's like, "What?" And so Shadowlock is crazy, doesn't understand what's going on. He's a better archer than that. He's just like, this is weird. So he gets his super heavy duty bow, super heavy duty arrow, and he's bound to determined to make this shot. And so he loads up and he pulls back and he swings, and the whole archery target just falls backwards, and like there's so much power, so much force, and Richard is just well, actually before that, the princess who is to be betrothed to the winner of this contest comes up to Richard, and she puts her hand on Richard, and he thinks that she's making fun of him, and that it's some sort of joke by his brother to get this hot woman to show him some sort of attention, and they're all going to laugh at him. So hates it, and he runs off, and he thinks that it's just the worst thing ever. So the other kingdom's hero, whatever, looking for the hand of the princess, is like, they're just talking, and Shadowlock says that there must have been something wrong with the original target, because the second and third time, he makes the shot, and then he shoots the arrow inside the arrow, obviously, because that is the tropey-ish thing to do that you could ever think of, but it's still cool. And so they have this discussion about whether he cheated or not, and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, calm down. Let's move on to the next match. So they decide to move on to the jousting match, and Shadowlock is like, where's all my stuff? Where's all my gear? And Richard says, oh, I'll take care of it. No problem, brother. No problem. And so he goes to the lance, and he uses this modern saw. I don't think they should have been using this modern saw in a fantasy adventure kind of setting. But anyway, he cuts the lance a little bit. So they're going to go do this jousting, and he falls off. He loses. The brother Shadowlock loses, and Richard is laughing, and he's kind of making fun of his brother, and he's like, I pity you. You're a failure. You disgraced our family and everything like that. And the brother Shadowlock is like, I feel worse for you, because Father and I agreed that if I won this championship, that she was going to become your bride. I was actually in this tournament for you, and it, because of all of your conniving and scheming, you lost a beautiful princess to be your wife, and maybe someday you'll learn your lesson. Richard goes off into a fury. He's so angry, and he's like, someday I'm going to kill my brother. And that's basically how it ends. So it's a really awesome background story, and I already love these characters, and I can't wait to read some more and get some more issues and really delve into all of this stuff. Of course, the Adam Hughes artwork is amazing, but the story is really enticing and really fun. It's not like bogged down in all of this dark sorcery kind of stuff. It's just kind of lighthearted, like I've said before, Loki and Thor themed, and it really is a fun story, and it was a really fun read, especially since it shows so short. It's only like at 10 pages or something like that, 8 pages. I think it's maybe it's 12 pages, but it's really fun story, and I can't wait to read some more. And I'm going to look forward to the next storyline actually too, which has as good art, maybe as good as art. This looks a little bit more Savage Sword of Conanish than this first Adam Hughes does, but it looks really fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. So we're going to put our trusty bookmark in the spot that we are going to, which is called The Greater Awakening, A Greater Awakening. And so there we go. We'll have that all ready for next week or whatever I do it next. So fantastic first story. I'm going to review all of these stories individually, because that's really kind of what you have to do with an anthology, because everything isn't created equal in anthologies. You have to kind of break down everything that they're doing. Love this cover. A plus. 10 out of 10. It's fantastic. I like the how it's tight but not super tight. And it's got a lot of really great detail and texture, and it's like I could just go on. The lighting and the shadowing and the shading and everything like that is just fantastic. The brush strokes, you can see, that's one of the great things about painting, is like you can show the brush strokes and they're brush strokes, but it still adds to the texture of each brushstroke, is like a different texture. Especially if you use the right amount of color and the right amount of movement and everything like that. So really great cover. Really love the Adam Hughes art. It's fantastic. The inking is really great. He could have really screwed up Adam Hughes's pencils, but he didn't. I really love the whole panel layout, and it's fantastic. So I'm going to give this, I can't give it a 10 because, that's for the groundbreaking, earth-shattering kind of stuff. But I'm going to give this a 9, really solid 9. And I could easily give it higher because the artwork and the story and the dialogue. As I say, the dialogue, it really only grabs me if each character has their own kind of theme and their own kind of voice and everything like that, and they so truly do in this. The script work is really fantastic, and it's not bogged down. There wasn't too much writing, there wasn't too much text. This panel is very heavy dialogue, but it all fits into the story, and it's a pleasure to read. It's not uncomfortable or unfun or anything to read like that. I don't feel like I'm wasting my time. I feel like it's all part of the bigger narrative that I need to read in order to understand the whole story, which is really what is critical in a good written story. So I love the dialogue, I love the story, I love the plot. Everything's great about it. So yeah, I'm going to give this a 9. And so Warriors number 2 from Adventure Comics. Let's see what year it was made, in 1987. So it's an oldie but goodie. And so yeah, let me know if you guys have read any of these Warriors and what you think of them. And if you like this, give me a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, consider becoming a subscriber and hitting the notification bell, because I do videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday now, and I'm trying to get as many of these awesome comics shown to everybody that you might see something that you really love and want to pursue. I'm going to pursue these Warriors and the Adventurers and stuff like that. And so yeah, Warriors number 2, giving it a 9. Let me know what you guys think. And thank you so much for watching, and have a great day, and keep on creating.